Carl Jung has been spat on by quite a lot of psychologists who call themselves scientists for being too much of a mystic quack. But what we have seen happen in recent decades is that these same psychologists have degraded into incompetent drug pushers who cannot solve people's problems. Meanwhile, the science has actually begun to bolster many of Carl Jung's most crazy and mystic ideas. And here are 3 of them that I think he has been proven soundly correct about. Number 1 is his idea of the unconscious. Carl Jung got in an awful lot of trouble with people because he suggested that our unconscious is intelligent and possesses a personality and is able to speak to us almost like a guardian angel with a rich, imaginative capacity that can speak to us using art and symbols. Now this just sounds like nonsense to very serious scientific people, but somebody called Ian McGilchrist has recently developed a new perspective on the neuroscience that we have about why our brains are split into 2 hemispheres and discovered some astounding conclusions. What we consider our I, our conscious self, our ego. This is the part of us that is able to use language. This is the part of me that is speaking to you right now. This part of us seems to exist on only one side of our brain. There is an entire other dude or dudette in there, living in the other side of your brain, your other hemisphere. And this hemisphere does not have the capacity to speak. It is not part of your commonly understood normal consciousness. It in fact lives outside of it. Various studies have proven this. And it speaks to us using intuitions, symbols, and even a large part of our imagination. When you really study what Ian McGilchrist is saying, he's basically painting the picture that our right hemisphere acts like a guardian angel that guides our kind of childish and unaware, dorky little ego. This is pretty much exactly what Jung was saying. Now this leads us to the second thing that Carl got correct, which is why art therapy is so powerful for healing people's minds. Jung is actually quite famous for his use of mandalas. You'll often see mandalas on the cover of his books, and he speaks at length at how mandalas are healing. He got several patients to begin painting mandalas, and he watched how they would have these radical psychological transformations, and they would often describe it as if they were speaking to this guardian angel of theirs. And of course, what do we know about the right hemisphere? Well, the right hemisphere cannot use words, but it can communicate to us using images, drawing pictures, and using art. And so, if the goal of healing is to get the 2 sides of our brains that maybe fail to work together, the conscious and unconscious, to start talking together like a happy family, like a good married couple, this art therapy might be one of the critical paths. And the last thing that Jung seemed to have gotten correct is the reality of our connection to our ancestors through epigenetics, which he called the collective unconscious. There are several animal studies at this point that are suggesting that animals can somehow pass on learned information, not via teaching, but via genetics. And this should make you wonder what could be speaking to us through our imagination.